Once there was a young woman called Fatemah. And Fatemah lived with her father, and her father was the best spinner, the spinner of rope. He made rope that was strong. He made rope that was fine. And he was doing well in his life. One day he said, "My daughter, I am going on a journey across the Middle Sea. I will trade from one island to the next." And she said, "Father, let me come with you. You know, I know the trade of spinning. I have learned everything from you. And perhaps somewhere in the world, I will find myself a husband." "Good, my daughter, come." And they got on the ship and they sailed away from island to island, and they were selling the fine, strong rope that she and her father had spun. But when they came to the island of Crete, a storm blew up. The wind raged and the waves grew high. The ship was tossed from wave to wave and then capsized. Her father's life was lost, and Fatemah was washed onto the shore, somewhere near Alexandria. She had nothing. Everything is lost. Why is this happening to me? Can you say that? Everything is lost. Why is this happening to me? She walked barefoot along the sandy shore and came to a village where the people were poor. The people in the village were cloth makers. They knew how to make strong sailcloth, which they traded in the city of Alexandria in the port. They took her in. They cared for her, and she stayed with them for a year. She learned how to make strong, stout sailcloth. And she began to feel part of that community. All was well. But one day, a ship of slave traders came in, and they seized Fatemah and others, and they took her away, deprived of her freedom. She was taken to the great city of Istanbul, and there she was put in a slave market for sale. And she said, "Everything is lost.
Why is this happening to me?"
Now to that slave market came a kind man. He was a mast maker. He made the masts of ships out of wood. And he saw this poor girl being sold. And he took pity on her and said, "I will protect you, because someone else might use you badly. I will help you, and you can work with my wife." So he paid, and he took Fatemah to his home. But when he reached his home, he got bad news. This maker of masts learned that his own cargo of masts that had been sailing on the ocean had also been lost in a storm. "I have nothing." Fatemah said, "You are a kind man. Let me help you with your business. Teach me how to make masts." Well, the mast maker taught Fatemah, and together they worked hard, and soon a whole new cargo of ships' masts had been made. She knew how to take a fallen tree, a log, and turn it into a strong wooden mast for a ship. How do you say mast in Dutch?
Mast.
It's the same word. They're so close, our languages. Well, after a year, the mast maker said, "Fatemah, you are a person I can trust. We have a cargo of masts. You will be my agent. Take these masts across the seas to India and beyond. I trust you to do trade for me." And Fatemah gladly accepted the task. A ship was prepared, full of masts, and she sailed away across the oceans. She reached India, sailed all around the coast, and did good trade, sending profits back to the man in Istanbul. But now, approaching the coast of the island of Java, a typhoon blew up. And the typhoon was worse than any storm that Fatemah had experienced before. The wind raged and howled. The ship was carried one way and then the other. The waves breaking over. There was terror among the crew. And again, the ship was wrecked. Fatemah was washed onto another shore, this time the shore of China. She stood there and said,
All is lost.
everything, let's say it together, everything is lost. Why is this happening to me? She walked inland from the shore. Now in China there was an emperor, of course, and the emperor was a powerful man. But the emperor had a dream. He had heard that far away in other lands, that emperors and kings had palaces which they could move from one place to another. And these palaces were called tents. It was a legend in China at that time that one day a young woman would come and she would know the secret of how to make a tent. The emperor sent messengers across the land regularly to search to find this woman. And so it happened that a messenger found this young woman walking with nothing through the land. He could see that she was not from China. Come with me. I will bring you to the emperor. So Fatemah, with nothing, came before the greatest man in all of China. And she stood before him. Do you know how to make a palace that can be transferred from one place to another? A tent? Fatemah remembered the tents that she had seen on her travels. I will try my best. Bring me strong rope. But when they brought rope, it was not sufficient. Fatemah remembered the skills that she had learned with her father. She ordered flax to be brought to her. And when the flax was brought, Fatemah began to spin the flax into rope. She worked so hard spinning that flax. It took time. But when the task was complete, she had enough rope. Bring me strong cloth, she said. But the cloth that was brought was not sufficient. So Fatemah remembered the cloth that she had learned to make in that village on the coast near Alexandria. So the materials were bought, and Fatemah began to weave. It took time, but when the task was complete, she had so much strong sailcloth. Bring me long poles of wood. But they had none to bring her. Then bring me felled trees. And she turned those tree trunks with skill and craftsmanship into poles, like masts, with the skills that she had learned from the mast maker of Istanbul. And when she had sufficient poles, she searched in her mind how to put a tent together. And with the help of the emperor's servants, that tent was put up. The emperor himself came to the tent, stepped inside, and marveled at the wonder. You, Fatemah, have fulfilled my dreams. What do you ask for? Only a place to make my home? Fatemah remained there in China. She was well respected. She was a wealthy young woman. She found herself a prince who she would marry. And before long, they had children. She lived a long, contented life. This is the story of Fatemah, the spinner and the maker of the tent. Thank you. I love telling stories about resilient women.